Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Doom Real Reactions. Appreciate y'all clicking on the video, and we about to get into it. Charlie Kirk talks about his assassination. We're gonna get right into it. We ain't gonna play no games. We're gonna get onto it. Sorry about that, y'all. I sit up here and burped in y'all face. Why did I do that? I don't know. Anyway, my screen is black. I don't know why it's black. I don't know why it's black. I thought I fixed that. Okay, here we go. Let's get straight into it. Appreciate y'all coming in.
I was curious if he ever spoke about this, and apparently he has spoken about this.
Oh, by the way, this is Tyrone Magnus. Make sure you go to his page and follow him and let him know that I sent you over there and you came from the Doom Real Reaction channel. Man, let's get into this. Let's see if Charlie Kirk really knew that he was gonna die before, like, you know, just I mean, really, if you think about it, he spoke on it. So let's see.
So I'm going to take a look at it. I was curious if he ever spoke about this, and apparently he has spoken about this. So I'm going to take a look at it and see what he said. It should be very interesting.
Right.
If someone were to murder Alex or murder me, they already murdered themselves in that action. They already bestowed the punishment upon themselves. We are simply completing the task. When you take another person's life, you already took your own life.
I have concerns over things like the death penalty. Is it it's one of the 10 commandments. You should not murder. So is it somehow justified because they're such a horrible criminal, or are they eliminating or changing the truth?
I think the Bible, I thought that because there's different translations, and then people have different interpretations of different translations. But I could have swore that it was "thou shalt not kill." But I think what is, if the true translation means murder, murder is different than just...
Yeah, it's true.
Than just the act of killing. It's the intent behind it, I believe, which is different. Because if you're talking about an eye for an eye, well, then if you murder someone, then you are have to have your life taken. So,
and I have to put my 2 cents in because it is a difference between killing and murdering somebody. Murdering somebody, I walked up and just killed you for no apparent reason, no nothing. But then kill it, like I went up, murdered you for nothing, and then killing is just like I had to kill him because he was going to kill me, so I had to kill him. You know what I mean? Like it was this. That's just the way it is. I look at that.
I know what he's talking about with that because the punishment that comes with that, So, but let's see.
Trajectory of God's plan for what it was supposed to be, because they murdered somebody, and they didn't go when God was ready for them.
Great question. So I get this question a lot. So it does say do not murder. It does not say do not kill. So
okay,
those are
so it's
two different
opposite.
Hebrew words. Right?
Okay.
So to murder is a completely different thing than to kill. For example, you're allowed to kill in
and I thought they
self-defense.
were different.
Somebody comes into your house, you are allowed to take that life if your life is being put into jeopardy.
Okay.
In fact, to go a step further, the reason why it made sense to ancient Israel, did you know that a life for a life, otherwise known as the death penalty, is the only law that is in all 5 books of the Torah? It's the only law. Not even the Sabbath is in all 5 books of the Torah.
Wow.
Now, the Sabbath exists in Genesis, but it's not in all 5 books. So this idea of taking a life if you take a life, what is it rooted in? Why does it matter? Well, first of all, God is communicating to us the first thing. Taking human life is a major deal. That's God's first moral teaching in the Torah, that it's not to be trivialized. Let me give you another example. There's a law of the 613 laws of Judaism, of which we are not bound to the ceremonial law, which is one of them. That if an animal takes a human life, you must kill that animal.
Okay.
So it's like, okay,
And
that's like, why do that? Well, what are you gonna like?
I noticed if you see certain news stories about that, like people do that. I noticed, and I didn't know about that law in particular, but uh, I noticed, you'll hear about a python eating somebody, or a shark, or an alligator, a crocodile killing someone. People will go out and hunt that and take it out. A lion, they'll go out and take it out. And I've heard that the reason is because once they've had a taste for human flesh,
Yeah.
then it's different. Now they will hunt us um, um, continually, rather than it was a you know by chance thing because this person ran into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Um, Let me see here what the
Yeah, he
re-
got a point. He actually makes sense. Like that's what I always heard. Like if they get a taste of human blood instead of animal blood, they'll they'll hunt you, and they will. They will. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, they have to be put down. They you can't just let them walk around like that.
reasoning is.
Have oh yeah, that's Lenny. He killed my uncle, and say hi. Like, you're gonna keep that animal around. The only punishment imaginable for taking the thing that only we are made in the image of God. So if you take another image bearer's life, what could possibly be a just punishment for that? Well, according to the economy of God, it's that your life must also be taken.
Well, what are their names? Now I'm going. Now I forgot their names. But the guys that had the tigers and everything, and the tiger was, from what I understand, the tiger was protecting him and dragging him out of the way because it was fearful. So it knew them. They were always lounging around, had their tigers around them and everything. So, but the tiger's so powerful when it bit him, and he eventually succumbed to that, didn't he? To those injuries. And they said for one of the first things that he said was, "Don't hurt the tiger, like don't hurt him," because he understood its nature.
And according to scriptural theology, we are not taking that person's life. When you take another person's life, you already took your own life.
Yeah.
I want you to think about that. If someone were to murder Alex or
Okay,
murder
so
me,
here's the part.
they already murdered themselves in that action.
Yeah.
They
That's
already
true.
bestowed the punishment upon themselves. We are simply completing the task. And think about it. Some people will say, but Charlie, you know, it's not fair because of whatever sob story liberal reason. How does it,
He had to hit it.
and I'll just close with,
Yeah, he had the jab. He had the jab.
I'll kind of finish with this. But you know who it's not fair to? It's not fair to the victims.
Right.
You are cheapening the lives of the victims.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
basically saying the victims die and you get to live.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to continue to live even though you took the lives of others. So, for example,
That's
I think it's
crazy.
fundamentally wrong that
Yeah, I think that is so strange, though. Over the years, when I was growing up, I would always hear about people getting the death penalty, electric chair, lethal injection, whatever it was. But then the older I got, I started to notice that more and more people were getting life in prison instead. And I heard that the reason was that it was inhumane for the death penalty, which
It's not.
I
Look, I'm gonna give y'all my opinion on that. I don't feel like it's inhumane to not give the death penalty because it's inhumane to let that person live in certain circumstances. Live if it wasn't self defense, but live as a person who would, as a habit, we all have habits, right? And we all do things. All sins are the same. All things that you do is the reason why all sins are the same because they all become habits. They become things that you can't control. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I keep doing that. And every time you think you looking up, you still cheating. You still masturbating. You still doing like weird stuff. that other people be like, look, that's not the norm. So once you take a life or delete a person, it it cheapens it, where you're that person who did it and took your life is actually, they're corrupted now. It's like a corrupted. They can't help it. They'll start with you. Then okay, well, I took somebody out. Yeah, if by self defense, but murdering is a whole different thing. We're going out and looking to take somebody out. You're looking to take somebody out. You're not, you know what I mean? Like you looking to take somebody out. You're not looking to take somebody out. It's in your heart now. It's just like stepping on a roach. Once you hit one, take it out, then you'll start every time you see one, you're gonna try to take what? You try to take it out. Like a fly. Like you take one fly out, you see another fly because it annoys you. And it is there's no repercussions for that. There's no repercussion, no nothing. But in reality, with humans, we have blowback. We have like people who they gonna do the same thing too. He took out my grandfather, I'm gonna take him out, and then he took my grandfather, and then it'd be a vicious cycle. So you stop at the one. He takes out somebody, you just he just get death penalty or end them. However, because he will not stop, no matter what. I mean, yeah, the system took him out, but it ain't it ain't designed to be like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, which is worse, being locked in a box for the rest of your life, or you being taken out early for taking other people's lives? I mean, there's some seriously savage people out there that have that. I'm not talking about the insane ones. I'm talking about the ones that they interview, the psychologists interview, and they find out that they're sane. And they'll find out, oh well, yeah, I did this and I did that to him. I just never done it before. I just wanted to see what it was like. What?
What?
Okay.
See what
Well,
I'm
now
talking
you're gonna
about?
find out what it's like to go the way that you sent them. You know what I
That's what
mean?
I'm
Like,
saying. I mean, yeah. That's what I was trying to say.
you could say it's
You can't
inhumane
mix and
both
match it,
ways
bro.
if you wanted to, but what is the price for taking? You know what I mean? Like,
What is
what
price?
should be
Tell
the
the truth.
price for taking someone else's life? And you were sane when you did it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And you were just, oh yeah, I wanted this car, so or I wanted this, or I was just angry
That's
that day, so I just did
crazy,
it.
man.
Well, you
That's
got to
crazy.
go. You know what I mean?
Creep who killed those 4 college kids in Muska, Iowa, that he gets to keep living. So he kills 4 college kids, and he keeps on getting to have life, and those people don't. In order to say that
Breathing, eating, loving. He might not get the sex part or that part, but he still gets to see the sunlight. He still get to touch the ball, touch physical stuff. That body is gone from them teenagers, and it's horrible, man.
those
Because
people's lives matter,
even a dude that becomes institutionalized, like there's certain guys that really learn to live in prison, almost enjoy it. It becomes their way of life. As a matter of fact, if you've heard, with the shit like with Shawshank, I'm assuming that it's based on certain real situations. Certain guys have been in there so long they don't know how to function when they get out. Some
Yeah,
of
that's
them
true.
end up unaliving themselves. You know what I mean? They just can't function because they got so used to it in there. So certain dudes get used to it and have a good old time. You know. Meanwhile, your victims are gone and never get to have a good time again.
That's true. That's true.
only just thing that we can reason ourselves to is to take that person's life. And that is not murder, that is killing, and it's societal self-defense.
Okay, so that's the difference. I knew it was something like that. Difference between the words of murder and killing. Interesting. So, I assume with him saying
Hold on.
that, and with how people felt about gun laws and Death penalty and firing squad. Dude's probably going to get the firing squad than the death penalty. That's what I'm thinking. Especially with this being out there and the way it affected the country. But let me know what you all think.
So, just like my boy said, let me know what y'all think and give me y'all opinions and comments. Make sure y'all smash that like button and let's get to 100,000 subscribers, 100,000 likes. This your boy Doom Real Reactions. Appreciate y'all. Goodbye. Get out of here.